Welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today we have Tony from True Sons. How are you, Tony?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks for jumping on. I'm really interested to have a chat to you about what True Sons is doing. As you can tell, I might need to be a purchaser. I left the beard on specifically for this video because you can see the grey,
Thanks.
the orange, and the brown. So I might be your perfect customer. But that being said, let's get straight into it because I really want to know about. Firstly, let's start with you. Tell me about your story,
Sure.
what's your background, and how did you get to this point?
Sure. Well, I've spent most of my career in the business side of drug development, actually, working in pharma and biotech. I studied finance in business school at NYU, and I did strategy consulting after that. But for the most part, I've been working inside biotech companies and especially for the last 10 years. I've been managing large clinical programs. I've worked in infectious diseases and oncology mostly, though when the COVID pandemic started, then I shifted to that and was doing that until last year. I would say in the last 10 years, what kind of defined my career was that I was leading large critical projects for the companies that I was at, and I was usually at small companies that were growing to mid-size. Similar, I hope, to True Sons.
Awesome, awesome. What drew you to this industry, and what drew you to True Sons? Coming from a biotech and
Yeah.
sort of pharmaceutical space, this is slightly different. But what drew you to this industry and True Sons as an opportunity?
Yeah. So the guy that founded True Sons is a friend of mine named Carl Sandler, who I've known for more than 20 years. Carl has started, I think, 8 companies at this point. And Carl and I, we had we'd been friends for a while already by the time I got out of business school. And at that time, he was working on a health-focused social networking site. And I mean, it didn't work out because it ended up being kind of hard to monetize, um, personal health issues on a social media. But I worked with him for a few months on that. And what we learned together was that we work well together. So fast forward to 2015, and Carl came to me with this idea for True Sons, and I helped him out with the first investor deck. I helped him out with the first financial forecast, and I thought he was onto something good. So I was one of the first investors in True Sons as well, and that was kind of how I became connected to the company years ago.
Oh, nice. So you are pretty much well ingrained into True Sons. This opportunity is not just a role. You're actually financially investors and want to see it grow.
Yeah, I've been advising Carl, since the beginning, and as an investor, I've been loosely tied to what was going on until I joined the company. I'll tell you how I joined the company. Um, I've been working in COVID research for about a year and a half, and about this time last year, I was just burned out. I've been working on projects that we were working around the clock, but they weren't going anywhere. And Carl and I met, and we talked about what was going on with True Sons. I decided I was just going to take some time off from COVID and and the work I'd been doing. And Carl asked if I could just help go through the financials with him, go through the customer metrics, see what the story is with True Sons, and give him guidance. And so I did that. And in the process of doing that, I realized that we really had something special happening. You could see in the subscriber metrics and in the way that customers were interacting with the company that this was a product that some people really like and they stick with it. So after that, Carl and I started talking about what was next for the company. Where could we go? And I think that Carl and I got so excited about our ideas that he asked me if I'd lead the company. And I said, yes, absolutely. And that's how I came to True Sons.
Awesome, awesome. So, you've sort of touched on how the team came together. You want to give a bit of a rundown on Carl, because I know Carl. I've met him. He is a interesting character. He's incredibly brilliant. But give the audience either the high level cliff notes on Carl, because he is, the founder, the leader, but bring you on to add to his strengths.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to preface this by saying that the reason that Carl and I worked well together was because we realized that he's really an idea guy with a huge network, and I'm very good at planning and execution. And so thinking back to when I first met Carl, I think he still had his first business was an online retail business, and this was like in the late 90s. I believe he sold that off in the first year or so that I knew him. Since then, he went on to create a few other companies. One of them has been around for 20 years and he still manages it. A couple of them didn't work out. And most recently, I think it was even out of that company. And part of the reason he wanted me to come on board was because he was pretty involved on the board of that biotech company. So Carl's got a really great story, and it's very diverse. The guy, like the way that he works is he is constantly thinking of how to solve problems out in the world, and then comes to people like me to help him like plan it out and do it.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So coming to True Sons, I sort of touched on it with my own beard, but tell us the solution from a customer's point of view. Tell us what the solution is.
Yeah, sure. This company was founded based off of our hero product, the hair and beard dye. So when Carl came to me in 2015, the reason why the story was so compelling was because Carl and I both started graying when we were, earlier. Carl's got a shaved head, so his is all beard, but I was gray all over. He and I had both been using Just for Men, leading product. They still are the leader in the category, but he wasn't happy with the results. And it's not a very high-end experience. It's kind of messy because it requires mixing, and you do it yourself in a plastic tube or plastic container. And it's a strong dye. So a lot of guys who use that, many other of our competitors' products, find that the dye looks kind of fake. It looks like, because it's 100% coverage. And like you, Daniel, if you had 100% coverage, people who knew you and were used to seeing those gray spots in your beard would know that you were dyeing your beard.
Yeah.
So Carl wanted to create a formula that was it didn't require any mixing, that was really easy to use, and that gave guys more flexibility in how much gray they covered. And it took him 2 years, but working with a couple of really great chemists, but he did it. And so I've spoken to quite a few customers myself in the last year since I came on board, and I can see that there's two things that really draw them to our company. It's for that hair and beard dye, it's that it's easy to use, and that it does indeed give natural looking results.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying about your competitors. It is a mass-produced, run-of-the-mill, full coverage, and in a lot of times it does look fake, and you can walking down the street, you can sort of tell which ones who's using it and who's not.
Yeah.
So I like it, and plus from what I've seen and know about the product, it is higher quality base product, which stands out in the market. But tell me, that's great. I love it. Tell me a bit about the industry. Just for Men is a giant in the industry, but tell me what does the industry look like, and how is it changing?
Well, let's start with the men's hair color market. We've also have a beard oil, and we've also already developed a shampoo that we haven't launched yet. So I'm going to talk about men's hair color, and then I'll talk about men's grooming.
Yep.
So for men's hair color, it was pretty stagnant. Like in the last 5 years, we innovated in it, right? We've created a formula that is an aerosol oxidative dye, meaning that you get a can, you press the actuator on top, the button on top, and a ball of foam comes out in your hand. The foam kind of like sticks to your beard, and it gives really natural looking results over a longer period of time, right? Like it takes like 15 to 25 minutes. So it gives guys a lot more flexibility in how much they want to cover. It's less likely to dye their skin. Okay, sorry. So industry. I'm very excited about our product. um, I, I, I think that what happened in the last 5 years with men's color is that partially thanks to True Sons, guys have a lot more choice in the products that they can use now. There have been a few other products that have come to market, and they all vary a little bit in what their strengths are. I still think that True Sons is the best. I'm not sure what else to say about the men's coloring market.
What's do you have some of the projections or growth over the last few years and what
Oh,
it looks
I
like?
can say that I can tell you it's a $200 million market in the US and about half a billion globally. And it really is heavily dominated by Just for Men. There have been a few other companies like ours that have popped up. Actually, there's been a couple other companies like ours that have popped up. And then there's been a couple women's coloring brands that have created lines that they market towards men as well. I don't know that any of them are as easy to use as True Sons, though.
Yeah. And in terms of the men's grooming, because I know from research that is a incredibly fast growing industry, and
Yeah.
if you take the social norms now, it's a lot more normal for men to now buy grooming products, where you go back 10, 15 years ago and men, the entire grooming range for men was soap and shampoo. That's it, but now men are taking
Yeah.
care about themselves and their appearance and their skin, their hair. So it's an incredibly fast growing industry. What does that look like, and does that open the door for more products? I know you said shampoo, but that's fantastic. But what does that look like for True Sons?
Yeah. You touched on a really good point. I didn't realize until I started working here that such a small percentage of guys historically have bought their own grooming products. It's only been about a quarter, even recently, like in 2021, I think only around 25, 26% of men bought like several grooming products for themselves in a year. Either they just didn't really buy grooming products, or it was bought by their partners or family members for them. But that's changing, and it's changing fast. So the men's grooming market is huge. I think it's expected to double between 2021 and 2030. It's growing at a CAGR of about 9%. And a lot of that is because the market is expanding. More guys are paying attention now to the way that they look and the way that they feel as a result of the way that they look. And they're spending money on grooming products. So, to tie us in, I can tell you that 26% of guys last time we checked were coming to us without ever having dyed before. And I've asked a few of them, like, why did you come to us? Why did you decide to dye with us for the first time? And it was because our branding made dyeing seem like it might be cool, where before they thought it wasn't a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's great. So I think that True Sons and companies like ours are helping to expand the market by making guys feel comfortable and even excited about buying grooming products.
Yeah, awesome. So let's tap into the traction. Tell us more about some of the traction you've experienced to this point. Tell us some of the milestones, the numbers, to give us an idea on where True Sons is at.
Yeah, sure. Well, True Sons, the hair and beard dye launched in the summer of 2018, and we have grown slowly. We used friends and family money for the most part since then, and then our own revenue as we generated it. And we've now passed about 125,000 cans sold and a total in 3 million in revenue. So we're very proud of what we've achieved on a pretty small budget.
Yeah, and that's North America only, correct?
Yes, that's right. North America only.
So,
Yep. Our channels are our sales channels are through our own website and through Amazon. And through Amazon in particular, they sell to Canada and Mexico.
Okay. And so there's still a large untapped market in North America for you to explore different distribution channels. But then outside of North America, there's Europe, Asia, that are still, you know, massive markets that you can get your product into.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of upside potential for what I'm hearing for True Sons.
there is. So look, I think that our upside potential comes from a few places, and I'll talk about like near term and then maybe longer term. So near term, we know that guys are not guys are not super loyal to brands in the long run, but they're loyal to products, and they use their product loyalty to decide what new products to try, right?
Yeah.
So because we've got a strong repeat customer business with guys who really like our beard, we feel pretty good about launching products that are going to solve problems for those guys. So we've launched a beard oil just recently. The beard oil is a lot lighter than what most of our competitors sell. It's both light in consistency and fragrance. And the benefit, especially to the guys who are dyeing their beard, is that for any kind of sensitivity they might have in their skin under their beard, this can help solve it. And then we've also developed a shampoo that we haven't launched yet, but the shampoo kind of fits in line with this trend towards guys who are coming into the market and buying grooming products for the first time. They want stuff that's multifunction and easy to use. So we've developed a shampoo that is color safe, shampoo and conditioner in one, and hair strengthening. We are thinking along those same lines of how to continue our product development and innovate in this category, getting guys what they need. All right, so in addition to product development, we also are expanding our retail, as you mentioned, looking into both national salon chains as well as, you know, big retailers, big beauty retailers. So all of that is going to start with the money that we get from this raise. And then the last prong is really how we market it. And I think that there's a lot of room left for us to find new customers. So we've got a pretty detailed marketing plan that I'd be happy to go over with folks.
Oh, nice.
That's the near term. That's what we want to do in the next year and a half with the money that we raise. And then after that, international expansion for sure. I think that's a big area of growth for our future.
Nice. So you've touched on the pain points experienced by your clients and customers, which, as you said, men are men are more open to trying out new beauty products and skincare and hair care products, and then through that, once they trust a product, they trust a brand on the back of that, which is a different buying pattern from female buyers. So you're working your way in with the customer, and then understanding what your customer is looking for, and developing products to suit, which is a really good strategy. So tell me about the raise. You're raising money now. How much you're raising? What's it used for? What's the offer? And what's the momentum you've had?
We'd like to raise $1.5 million at a $12 million valuation. Valuation is based off of our last year's revenue of a little over 1.4 million. And we'd like to use it on the three key things that I just mentioned, starting with product development. We want to launch that shampoo. We'd like to create a new, like a next generation of our hair and beard dye that's a non-aerosol. We'll probably sell it alongside with the aerosol, but it'll be less uses per container. It'll be more sustainable, and it'll be cheaper. So both us and the customers win. And we also have already identified an opportunity for the large industry of hair loss prevention. So we think that we can make a new best-in-class product that is a hair strengthening spray-on topical product that also has hair loss prevention properties. And we're very excited about this. Okay, so that's product development. For the retail, we'll use the money over the next year and a half to probably get into one salon chain, both online and in stores, and start the process of getting into big box retailers. But we won't finish it with this raise. It's about a 2-year timeline to get in. So we'll start it with this raise.
Yeah.
And last is marketing. Big chunk of the money is going towards marketing. We've been spending our money on our advertising money on Facebook and Instagram, but as everyone knows, the acquisition cost has just risen so dramatically that we'd like to move away from it and towards TikTok content and advocates, as well as a loyalty program and trade marketing program.
Nice. You mentioned the hair loss industry. That is a massive industry. So if people who are unfamiliar, you've already compared your original products to Just for Men. Just for Men is a run-of-the-mill, mass-produced product. And the competitor in the hair loss is Rogaine. Now, Rogaine is a multi-billion-dollar company selling, hundreds of millions of units every year. And that is an industry that is, I know in Australia, we've seen a lot of brands tackling that hair loss market, and they've seen the valuations of those companies skyrocket because they are doing something different to Rogaine. Now, if you can build a best-in-class shampoo that can compete or better than Rogaine, it's a massive market. So you're opening up 2 huge multi-billion-dollar markets. Which is a nice thing to see for product development and future growth of the business. So in terms of this raise, what's the momentum you've had?
We've just pretty much started. We've spoken with a few people and got really good feedback so far, but we're just at the beginning of our fundraising.
Nice. Okay, great. So I won't take up too much of your time, but I really like what you're doing. Like I said, I might be your perfect customer. So when it's available in Australia, I will definitely.
I can send you a can.
Yeah, because I've got the tritone beard. My hair is naturally dark blonde, light brown. I've got a light brown beard with a bit of ginger and you can see the white spots here. So I am your perfect customer. I could use that, and if it's a gradual, subtle, dye, it just will make me feel better. And I dare say most men that are watching this have experienced something like I have. If you've ever tried to grow a beard and your beard grows patchy, that's perfect for you. So thank you very much for jumping on. I've had fun, understanding True Sons and understanding where you want to go. I'm excited to see where you go. Anybody who's watching this video, any of our audience, if you want to get in touch with Tony, please send me through an email. I'll put the details of True Sons below this video, and I can connect you with Tony and the True Sons team. Thank you very much for jumping on. It's been great to chat to you.
Thanks, Daniel. It's good talking to you.
All right.
Okay, bye.